How do you feel about vegan diets in general for athletic performance? Now, the vegan diet it's really good and it can be really bad, you know, because some things that are vegan, that are considered vegan is nothing from, no animal products at all. Not only do you not eat animals, but you won't drink milk, you won't cheese, nothing that comes from an animal. Okay, you won't eat the caviar, nothing that comes from an animal whatsoever. You will not touch it. Now, being vegan, there's a lot of, in that category of foods, there's a lot of healthy foods, but there's a lot of foods, processed foods, that are not healthy. So if you're a vegan and you balance your food perfectly, and you know how much, if you go towards the whole foods in the list of vegan foods, you'll be extremely healthy. You'll be super healthy. You have a very low stress diet. You'll have high energy. You'll feel fine. But if you start eating, crazy amounts of processed vegan foods, flours and whatnot, you can be fat. You can be highly unhealthy. So vegan is a very general term. Do you know how to balance a vegan diet? Do you know how to stay away from the list of foods that exist in a vegan diet that are not necessarily the best? Okay, cooked foods, etc., processed foods. So very important to know which foods are the best. Now, again, if you read The End of Dieting, you would know that the most of his foods would pass the vegan, the vegan test. Now, at the top of his pyramid, he has non-vegan foods, flesh foods, cheese, etc. He allows you a little bit of processed foods. He allows you a little bit of non-vegan foods, okay? But it's in the book End of Dieting, he teaches you how to balance your diet. So for instance, people tell me, hey, I'm paleo. What does that mean? What does that mean? Doesn't this, you might be super healthy on paleo, you might be super unhealthy. Are you eating a lot of greens and vegetables, or are you eating a lot of red meat? You're both paleo. If one guy eats red meat once a week, but eats fruits and vegetables and seeds the rest of the time, and another guy who eats bacon every single morning, he's also paleo. They're both paleo, but one of them is having a lot of animal fats and the other one is not. One is super healthy, one is not. So being paleo, just saying you're paleo, you have to be specific. How do you balance your paleo diet? How do you balance your vegan diet? That's why it's not only what's the list of foods I'm allowed to eat, but what is the list of food? What is the balance? What is the ratio I'm eating? So that's why the pyramid is so important. It's not just a list of foods. Okay, so we need to have a good list of foods, and then we need to know how to balance it. Now, I'll leave you guys with this because I'm way over the time. It's gonna be long before I can. Let's probably take hours to upload to YouTube. So I'm gonna do one last thing. I'm gonna leave you guys with an anecdote that Dr. Joel Fuhrman mentions in his book End of Dieting that I've already recommended maybe 20 times. He says, look, when people tell me they're hungry, he says, okay, you're hungry. He says, here, eat this bucket of broccoli. And you're like, no, I don't want this bucket of broccoli. I'm not hungry for that. Joel says, Dr. Fuhrman says, you have a toxic hunger. Okay, so basically you're not hungry for nutrients. You're hungry for whatever whatever habit you formed, whatever toxic desire you have, whatever, how do you say that again? I'm getting a little tired here. Addiction, that's the word, addiction. So you're addicted to sugar, you're addicted to fats. You want that kick, you want that substance that you're addicted to. That's what you're looking for. You're not really hungry. Hungry is to satiate the body's need for nutrition. That's what true hunger is. So here's the nutrition. You don't want it, you're not really hungry. That's toxic hunger. You learn to have this type of hunger. This is something you conditioned your body to want, like if you were a smoker. Now, I don't crave smoking. I wake up in the morning, I don't want a cigarette. If somebody offered me a cigarette, I'd say no thank you. But if I started smoking 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, now I'd wake up in the morning and be like, hey, I need another hit of nicotine. My body would call for it, okay? So that would be toxic. That would be a toxic addiction. You do the same thing to your body with foods. So if you don't want to eat that broccoli, you don't want that healthy salad, it's not for you, that means you're not really in need of nutrition. You just have a toxic desire for food. You have a toxic desire to satisfy that drug, that need for that drug. Because don't forget, food is a drug, sugar is a drug, caffeine is a drug. It needs to be stay in check. Keep those to a minimum. Condition your body to eat healthy foods.